Now for Mark Levin's Short Takes on Levin TV.
Hello, folks. This is Mark's Short Takes. You're starting to read a lot and hear a lot on TV and radio about the source of the coronavirus, the Wuhan lab, which, of course, as you're well aware now, the media didn't want the Wuhan lab to be the source. It wanted some animals in the open market, the wet market they call it, to be the source, a natural source where the virus would have jumped from animals to human beings. This was the Communist Chinese propaganda line. It was pushed here by officials in the United States government through people who they gave grants to, and then that grant went to the Wuhan lab. So this is propaganda that came out of the bureaucracy of the United States. This is propaganda that came out of the Politburo, the Communist Party of China. This is propaganda that our media went with and ran with. And there was only one voice that said pretty much, wait a minute, I think it came out of the lab, and that was Donald Trump. He had intelligence information that suggested it could have come out of the lab, and he concluded it must have come out of the lab. And so the media immediately dug in. They ridiculed and tried to humiliate the president. They kept going with this idea that this was a conspiracy theory, that a bunch of kooks were out there. The same media that pushed a conspiracy theory about Russia collusion for nearly 3 years to try and destroy Donald Trump and his supporters. Same media, same political media. The American media is so corrupt and so destitute and so dangerous that it pushes a lie in Russia collusion, and it pushes a lie when it comes to coronavirus, which killed almost 600,000 Americans according to the government's own data, and well over 3 million people worldwide according to the WHO data. When Joe Biden spoke with Xi, his old buddy, the dictator of China, not once did he bring this up. Not once did he bring it up. And yet he tried to lay the blame for the deaths of this coronavirus at the feet of Donald Trump. Donald Trump, who did more to try and fight it and confront it and wrestle it to the ground, whether it was PPEs, where governors were caught short because they blew their budgets on stuff and didn't have any pandemic budget, which they're supposed to, or whether it was his push with this same bureaucracy, the FDA, the NIH, Fauci with the infectious disease unit and so forth, to get these vaccines done. And he gets no credit for any of this work. None. Meanwhile, Fauci is celebrated. Fauci shouldn't be celebrated. He should be investigated. Who gave that grant from his office to a third party, which in turn gave that grant to the Wuhan lab, which was in the business of trying to make more lethal various coronaviruses? And apparently it succeeded. Several of its staff members got sick in November of 2019, which the Wall Street Journal reported as well. But I specifically want to thank Nicholas Wade, among others. He spent a year in retirement, a former senior editor, not just writer, for the New York Times Science page, as well as for Nature and Science magazines. He spent a year investigating this, and much of what you're hearing today on cable TV, on radio, and so forth, he was involved in exposing. And there are others. There are others, too. Now, what are we going to do about this? Well, Biden's spokeswoman said, there's nothing we can really do. Really? We should be looking now at Fauci's operation, because when that grant was given, there was actually a moratorium on this kind of research. A moratorium. And only Fauci and only his boss, the head of the NIH, Collins, could make exceptions under the statute. So who made the exceptions? This isn't a game. We need to know. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of Americans died as a result. When you look at this, when you look at how these government operations let us down in Washington, when you look at how some of these governors let us down in New York and New Jersey, Michigan, Illinois, California, so many deaths in nursing homes, it wasn't just the virus. It was the bureaucrats and the politicians who contributed to the lethality of this virus. And more needs to be said and written about this over time. That's it. Mark Short Take.
For more, sign up for LEVIN TV.